good morning. I wanted to demonstrate the ground cloth that you've read the article about by showing its use on my Xmid 1 Pro tent here. So I'll go ahead and get started. I think it's easier just to observe and see rather than me trying to explain to you. So here is the ground cloth, dimensions and all that, like I mentioned in the article. This is the one made from the Rocky Woods material. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and stake it out. Hopefully this doesn't take too long, and then I'll show you one of the nifty features about it. I'll set the tent up on it, and then I will roll it up again on the tarp just to demonstrate. And we're doing it today in the nice, lovely, dead Texas grass, because it's been so hot here this summer that everywhere I don't have water going is dead.
Also, excuse the background, we're in the middle of renovations.
So one of the things I really like about this setup, figuring out exactly how to set up your Xmid, where to put the stakes and all that, can be kind of a hassle. I mean, it definitely takes some learning curve, but I think everyone can probably stake out a rectangular thing like this. It's nice and flat. The thing to do when you get it here is get the stakes so that they're actually coming off at that 45-degree angle off of the corners of the ground sheet, which is really easy to do on a nice square ground sheet. Right? You don't have all that estimation stuff that you do on the Xmid. That one looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now, the deal with this tarp is that its size and where these stakes are, you notice I have lines coming off of them, and I didn't adjust those lines. They are set from the last time I had this tent up. And here's the lovely part of it now. Those stakes become exactly the same spot that the 4 stakes on your Xmid would go. The same 4 stakes. So if you do this right, and once you get it adjusted, it won't be perfect, but it'll be awfully close. Once you get it adjusted, the next time you want to set your tent up, once you set the ground sheet out, you should just be able to take the 4 corners and pop it right back down. Maybe a little tweaking, maybe a little adjusting. But now I want you to walk around and look at where those lines are in relation to how they should be for that quote-unquote perfect setup on the Xmid. They're already in the right spots.
Pete's trying to dig up your foot.
Yeah, that's Pete. So, with this, of course, you're going to have a floor in your vestibule. So you got basically 2 choices. With an Xmid Pro, that is a tip down type tent as opposed to the regular, which is a tip up. So on your floor, you have 2 choices. If you actually do hike with these little tips, obviously that's a solution. So you're not putting that, through your tent floor. The other solution, pretty simple, is you just got a rock of some sort. So So like I said, the whole point, or the whole beauty of this rectangular footprint is it becomes your template for setting up the tent. Okay, look at that. No adjustment. Done. Pretty much perfect, because once you have the ground sheet, it more or less forces the tent into the right setup. And yeah, it takes a little tweaking of the lengths of those cords, but once you got that done, each subsequent setup is trivial. Now I'll show you, I'll open this back up so you can see what I did inside. Come over here so you can see this. I just, just put the trekking pole tip on a rock so it's not poking a hole, And now the sizing of this footprint is such that, obviously I can stick the door out, but it's inset an inch or two all the way around. So, if it rains, it's not falling on it. But it gives you a floor to put your shoes, your pack, all your other
porch.
stuff. It's your porch. So you're not, and also so you're not tracking dirt into the tent. Now, let me back out of this now and show you the nifty thing about how to use this ground sheet when you're
Watch out for the dog. There you go.
when you're rolling the tent up. Okay, so when I'm rolling the tent up, what I do is I disconnect two corners and I fold it over in half. And I'm just detaching, I'm leaving the stakes in place. I'm just detaching it from, taking it off the top of the stake. And then folded it in half again. Now imagine if it were raining and muddy and nasty. What I'm about to show you, imagine everything not on the ground sheet is just filthy. So once you get it rolled, I now detach another corner and I pull it diagonal across the ground sheet. It's on top of the ground sheet, so it's staying relatively clean and dry. Then I just start rolling it up again on the ground sheet. As I'm rolling it, of course, there are those little carbon fiber struts. You're feeling for those as you roll. And when you feel them, you may have to manually manipulate them so that they're along the axis of the roll instead of across it. But as you're doing this, I'm pulling against that one remaining stake. See, there's one right there. I have to kind of orient it. I'm pulling against that one remaining stake. So what I get is a nice tight roll. And again, I'm doing it on the ground sheet, so all that mud, nasty muck does not get rolled up in the ground sheet. In my opinion, that's the entire purpose of a ground sheet. It's not to protect the bottom of the tent. It is so that you can roll it up and not be all filthy. There you go. See how nice and tight that is? Fits right in the tent sack with no issue at all. And then, of course, I just, I guess I'll do it. Try not to lose your tent stakes. Remember where they are. Pete, stop digging. Weirdo. He's my little excavator here. So what I do, I just take the 4 guy lines or 4 tie outs, and once you have, like I said, once you have these lengths set, you shouldn't ever really have to tweak them ever again. Then they're perfect setup length for just popping it back up. And the way I fold this is so that all of the dirt and muck are on one side and they're contained, so it's dirt to dirt. So as much of the ground cloth as possible stays clean. I have to fold it now. I roll these up, and the cords end up on the outside, which I then kind of loop around like that so it's nice and tight. And the whole thing can fit inside my stuff sack. And then of course I have to make sure I don't forget my 4 tent stakes. So hopefully you got something out of this video. I've been meaning to make it for a while, kind of showing my ground sheet as a multifunctional tool to actually aid in setting up your tent, more so than just, you know, keeping the bottom of the tent dry, which, you know, tent floors are waterproof. You don't need to worry about keeping it dry, but certainly keeping all the garbage off of it is an important aspect. So thank you very much for watching. Hike on.